Hey guys, Joe Simpson here. I'm back today with something a little bit off the wall. I kind of went on a tangent and I bought myself a new DAP. Let's not call it an MP3 player. Let's call it a digital audio player, much more adult sounding type of device. I bought the Surfans F20, and this is a digital audio player, or you might refer to it as an MP3 player. Quick unboxing of the Surfans F20. Plastic wrapped. It's in a box, I don't know, about 3x4. Comes wrapped in an anti-static bag. The device itself is about the size of a deck of playing cards. The buttons are nice and clicky, a little stiff. Maybe they'll loosen up over time. The click wheel wasn't great for me, but jury is still out on that one. It's made of aluminum, has a really nice sturdy case. The back is kind of a plastic, shiny plastic or glass. I think it's plastic. And at the bottom you have your headphone jack and charging port. Yeah, overall this thing looks really good. I think it's going to be awesome, and your power is on top. First, let me give you a quick rundown on why I even thought about purchasing it. I had my truck in for service. It took 4 months to get it fixed. I needed another car in the meantime, so I bought a Honda Pilot from 2011. It had an aux-in cable, and I was using it with my phone, which is cool. But I thought, hey, wouldn't it be neat to bring my iPod that I haven't used in years, my iPod 60 gig video? And I used that for about a week, and then the hard drive failed. And I went online and I was thinking, well, I'll just buy replacement parts and gut this thing and fix it up. And I started looking at the pricing, and I thought, I wonder what's out there for about $100. And I found the Surfans F20, and it ends up that it's a pretty cool device. Okay, the Surfans F20 is an MP3 or multi-format audio player. It can play FLAC, it can play MP3, it can play ALAC, it can play AAC, so it can play a whole host of different audio files. So you could put and mix and match all the different audio files on this device, and it'll play it back. The other thing that this device does is it has the ability to have an SD card for your storage source. So you can go up to 256 gigs, which should be enough for most people for most of their collections. Also, it can Bluetooth to headsets, which I think is great because the old iPhone only has the 3.5 millimeter jack for your headphones or your line out. It's the same thing. This device has the ability to throw Bluetooth to your headphones, and it even has a switch in there to turn the Bluetooth to a high-res mode. So I'll go through some of these settings here in just a minute. Okay, let's talk about some of the physical attributes of this device. First of all, it's all aluminum frame, and top, bottom, sides are all aluminum. It has a couple of buttons on the front for forward, reverse, and a menu button. It also has a click wheel and a select, play, pause wheel in the middle. The click wheel is not awesome, but it works. And then on top, you have the wake up button or the power off and on button. And then on the bottom, you have a line out, you have a headphone jack out, and you have a USB 3.0, or is it a USB-C? Whatever the little oval shaped USB is, that's what it is. So pretty nice unit. When you turn it on, the screen is plenty bright. It can be a little tricky to see in bright sunlight, or if you have polarized sunglasses, it can be a little bit tough to look at as well. What they've managed to do, in my opinion, is they've made this able to be a one-handed operation. A lot of people complain about the buttons and the click wheel, and some of the things don't seem to make any sense, but I happen to kind of like it. So let's pretend it's asleep and it's in your pocket. So when it's in this mode, it doesn't matter what you do or what button you push. It's not going to do anything. You can't turn the volume up and down. You can't skip. You can't do anything, which is kind of a good thing. As soon as you wake it up, you can turn up the volume. You can see the volume going up and down. I can hit the back button. I can skip a track. I can play pause, all from my pocket. And that's pretty nice. And then you can put it back to sleep and just put it away. And a long press and hold on the top button is a power off button. And you'll know that it's powering off because it'll give you the Surfans splash screen. And we'll go through the layout and design of this thing here shortly. The user interface is nice because it does have Bluetooth, it does have one-handed operation, and it also has line out and headphone jack out. And the reason that's important is I was in my 2011 Pilot and I was using my aux-in cable and I was using the headphone jack, and you have variations in track volumes and you're always chasing the volume on this thing, turning it up, turning it down. Much easier to use the line out. It's a nice hot line out feed, and it goes right into your line in or your aux cable cord. You get a nice full volume, and then you can just use the volume control on the dash to control your volume from there. It makes it brainless. So that's really nice to have the line out. The battery life is excellent. This thing lasts for about 10 hours, they say. I've been using it off and on for 2 days at a go in a car, and I have yet to get below a quarter of a battery. I'll get below half, and then I'll just bring it inside. I'll throw it on the charger for a little while. It charges to full fairly quickly, and then back to the car it goes, and then yeah, it just works flawlessly that way. Managing and loading the music is really easy because you have an SD card in this unit, and basically you plug it into your computer. Your computer sees the device as an SD card. You open up the card and you drag and drop the music, and it works perfect. As long as you have all your music of a certain CD in one folder, and that folder is named, and then inside that folder you have a cover art called cover.jpg or cover.png, everything will work flawlessly with this. This does have some good connectivity options. One that I didn't mention earlier, which is kind of neat. It has the line out, it has the headphone, and it has the Bluetooth to headphones, but it also has a Bluetooth input, meaning that you can plug this thing into your aux or your line in your car, and you could connect your phone to this device, which is kind of weird. You think like, why would I do that? Some cars might be set up that way, but imagine you connect your phone to your device and play your music through your phone, through your device into the aux or the line in. And what this enables you to do in my particular case is I can get in the car, I can turn on the Surfans, and I can hit Bluetooth mode, and it'll pick up my phone, and then I can charge my phone and also push the sound from my phone through the device. It sounds stupid, or like it would be nonsensical to even do this, because you could just take a special jack and plug it into your car. But if your car doesn't have that, and you only have the aux in, it could be one way to get some of the music from your phone to stream in through your car. Some of the drawbacks or limitations that I see with the Surfans is that it's a little clunky. The buttons are a little noisy. The click wheel is kind of useless. I do use it a lot when I get big lists of like names or songs. I'll use it to go down through those quicker. But honestly, for the most part, it's not as elegant as the one that you'll find on the iPod. But, you know, the iPod created that, and they have kind of a multi-gesture system set up within that click wheel. This is not. It's literally you just spin it left, spin it right, and it goes up, it goes down. And that's all that it does. Anyway, I'm going to walk you through the interface and the face of this Surfans. Once we're finished, I'm going to show you how I rip music from my CDs onto my hard drive, and then from my hard drive onto my Surfans, so you kind of get an idea of how the process goes. Okay, so what I want to do is walk through this menu as fast as I can without boring you to death. So we're going to turn it on. A long push and hold on the top turns it on. You get the splash screen right away. Okay, as soon as this thing comes on, it will connect to your Bluetooth headphones if they're available. From this point right here, it just went into play mode. If you had something plugged into the headphone jack or the line out jack, you're going to hear that playing. So the first thing is you can pause, and right down here there's an M button. This is the menu button. If you hit M, it gives you some choices on the side. The first thing you come to, if you roll this wheel, it's really hard to see, but you can see this little slider going up and down, and you can see where it's highlighting different things. It takes some getting used to. So the first thing is going to be adding a favorite. If you wanted to add that song as a favorite. The next thing is going to be, you go to memory, you go down one, and then you can change. If you see the slight change, you can change the playback mode. It'll play individual track. It'll play in order. It'll play random. Whatever level of folder you're in, that's the folder that will be played either in a random pattern or sequential pattern, or however you set it up. And you push the M button again, you can go to your EQ, which is really handy because I use this device with the Tozo headphones, and they're a little bit bright, and they have a little bit of a mid-bass bump to them. So what I do, you can go over to your EQ and you can kick it over, and I have a custom one set up just for the Tozo. So whenever I listen to the Tozo headphones, I put this EQ to it, and it sounds really nice. And if you go back, hit this button again, you can go down here and turn Bluetooth on and off. And there's other places you can see it says off now, and you can turn it on, and then it's back on. So that's the playback screen. From here, if you turn up the volume, you can see a little slider bar here. It moves in increments of 1. but I really can't hear a ton of difference. I think it might be actually changing the volume at like 70, 75, 80, 85, like on the fives, but maybe it is moving by one increment, but I can't really tell. My ears aren't that sensitive. So if you go all the way back to the main screen, and I just use this back, this is where you can scroll around. Now, if you don't want to use this wheel, you can also use the skip forward, skip back buttons. But yeah, you can go over here to music, and in the music, you've got songs, your favorites, and you saw how I made a favorite earlier. You can set up playlists. You can do recent played. You can search by artist if you want to find like all the albums by, I don't know, a certain artist. Pretty basic stuff. If you go to folder view, you can go here and it'll show you your TF card, and that's your memory card. And this is basically all the folders on the memory card, and you can drill down into the folder and you can play the music right there as well and play, like individual CDs and stuff. Also, if you go here, that's another way to get to some settings. You have the music scan. That means when you turn this device on, you put a card in, it's going to scan the card and check for all the information to set up the music lists. The equalizer, you can set that up. It's on custom currently. You can set your play mode to random. These are some of the same settings we had on the playback pane. You have a gain high-low. This is kind of important. This gain high-low will set the output of this unit to being a little higher or a little lower. Low is fine most of the time, but I like setting mine to high. I know I'm probably getting more distortion out of the unit, but it's not really noticeable for me. Replay gain, I don't really know what that is. I think that has something to do with leveling the volume between songs and tracks, but I have not had any success getting it to do anything. Balance is left-right. I just don't bother it. And this is album cover. It searches for covers. If it finds it, it puts it up. And that's wallpaper on off. I just leave that as off. And then you go over here to system settings. You've got language, theme, display. And here's the Bluetooth settings I wanted to go through. The Bluetooth is on. The device is named Surfans F20. This is an important button. The high quality on-off button is kind of important because you get a better quality and higher resolution going to your Bluetooth headphones. Bluetooth scanning just means that it's going to scan for devices, and here's paired devices that I've already got. I think that's it, guys. So there you go. And you've got your SD card here, and everything else is pretty self-explanatory. And once you learn the button sequences, you can do this in your pocket without even looking. I wanted to show you real quick how to rip a CD and the programs that I use to do it. The first thing you're going to want to do is download this program right here. It's called Free AC. It's a free audio converter. You can just look it up on Google. You'll find it a couple of places. It has different formats that you can encode into. I happen to be encoding all mine into FLAC. FLAC just means free lossless audio codec, and it's generally acceptable to most players. You could also do MP3. And you can go in here and you can change your MP3 quality as well as the FLAC quality. So I'm going to stick it on FLAC. Get your program set up. You get your destination folder open. And then I have my little Surfans player here. This is the folder of the audio player that I use. And the reason I keep that open is I sort the recently ripped CDs by date modified. So the latest one I ripped is showing up on the screen. So then I know what I have or don't have in my player from like a differential aspect, if that makes any sense. So let's not waste any time. Let's just stick the CD in here. It'll read the data, and this thing has like a little database search scraper tool that will go out and find the corresponding information. So you'll see it pull up. It knows that it's Sheryl Crow. It's Tuesday Night Music Club, and you just hit OK. It fills, populates. And then really you already have the FLAC encoder set up. But up here you could also just pick the encoder you want to use, or you could just hit go. So right now you can see here over on the right pane, up here at the top of this one, Sheryl Crow, Tuesday Night Music Club. So one other thing I like to do is get cover art for all these. So this is really simple. You go in here and you type her name. And what was that called again? Tuesday Night Music Club. Tuesday Night Music Club. And then if you don't see the icon pop up right away at the top, you can go in here and just click images and it'll take you to the image. But I click wherever I see it first. You don't need a big file. 300 by 300 is fine. And right here, I will hit save image as. And this is crucial to make this show up when the player plays, is you type cover to rename it. And then, of course, you pick the file of the location. And you go down here to Sheryl Crow, which is S right there, and you just hit save. And now that cover art, I'll go show you, is right here. You can see it over there in the corner. You go back here, and when Sheryl Crow is completed, you can see sometimes the progress is slow, sometimes it goes through these really fast. It just depends on the CD, and I'm not really sure what the differences are. But once it's done, I just drag and drop that folder into my player, and that's it. And so I have a copy on my server, I have a copy on my player if I want it to be, and that's how I rip my CDs. Thanks so much, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this video was helpful or interesting for you, and give me any recommendations of things you'd like to learn about more in the future, and I'll be happy to make that as well. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.